Jeff, we're over on the eastern shore, Snow Hill in Worcester County. Behind me is the Pocomoke River, and right on the river, the Pocomoke River Canoe Company. Ron Pilling is going to take us out on the water, actually, a little bit later. But the company's been here for a while.
Right, Lou, this is the 30th year we've been launching canoes and kayaks on this river. Canoes in the beginning, but more recently, people want to be in kayaks rather than canoes, so we're happy to accommodate them.
You're the only outfitter on the river, huh?
We are the only outfitter on this, probably the most beautiful river, in my humble opinion, on the eastern shore.
Tell me a little bit about the river.
It's a very unusual river. For starters, it's deep. The local tale is that the ratio of depth to width of this river is the second highest number in the world, only exceeded by the Nile, which means that for its width, it's especially deep. It's the northernmost east coast habitat for the bald cypress. That's kind of our signature tree. Also the long-nosed gar, a fish that most people consider to be Floridian fish, are very common up here. And it's largely undeveloped. It's cypress forest on both banks all the way down.
So how's this work? What do you do for me?
Well, typically, we would put you in that van that's behind you right now. There's a big trailer. If you turn around, you see our big trailer that'll hold 10 boats, and we haul you to one of several places in the watershed, and we launch you up there, and you make your way back to our dock. I will launch this year probably upwards of 800 boats this season, coming down the Pocomoke River or coming across Nassawango Creek, which is to the west of here.
The river is very narrow, and I guess it's tree-covered in parts.
This is just about, as you see it behind you, to over your shoulder, this is about as wide as the river gets. At our launch sites, it's much, much narrower than that. At high tide, some places maybe 10, 15 yards wide. And it does wind and snake through the cypress forest. And trees grow overhead. It's like a tunnel of cypress at our launch sites.
I go through all the little tributaries, and I've discovered things and seen places because a kayak can go where no motorboat can go. Because I can travel over 2 or 3 inches of water, so I get to go in all the neat little watershed areas that this area is indicative of.
And Barry Laws is the proprietor here at the Canoe Company. Tell me about these stand-up things.
Well, these boards are made to you stand up on them and paddle out. They're very nice in the river here. The river's calm. You don't have to worry about it being rough, and it's great exercise. A lot of people do it because of the exercise.
It takes a lot of balance.
It does. I prefer a canoe. It doesn't take, once you get in a canoe, you're okay, you're balanced already. But a lot of people like these, and we've got a few of them. We're using them more and more.
Tell me about the color of the water.
The water is colored a reddish brown. It's from the cypress. The tannic acid from the cypress trees is what we're told it causes it. It's not dirty water. It's clean water, but it does darken it, and that's what that is.
And it keeps down the mosquitoes, I understand.
It does. It helps out the tannic acid. Apparently, it's something mosquitoes don't like. So, as people think we have bugs because they're on the water, we generally do not, especially mosquitoes.
And when you get into one of these canoes, I guess you have to know what you're doing.
You know, do you see any white water? Looking at the river, you see anything white? It's a placid and gentle body of water, Lou, and we choose our boats because most of our patrons are beginners. Our kayaks in particular, you would have to work very hard to get one of our kayaks to capsize. It's a good boat a good river for beginners, a good river for learners.
And typically, how long are you out on the water?
Our typical trip takes 2.5 to 3 hours of steady but gentle paddling. But we get people who fish their way down the river. This is freshwater. It's very rich in sports fish. We get people who bring picnics. We get birders down here. Birders always take their time. Rich in both woodland birds and waterfowl.
Ron Pilling at the Pocomoke River Canoe Company. Jeff, back to you in the studio.